Hey everyone. So I got an email the other day asking about some guidance on how to identify qualitative and quantitative research when you're looking for articles. Now, I did post, there is that website, or not the website, the folder, How to Complete 12-Step Analysis and Synthesis article, the grid. I believe there should be a PowerPoint in there, the weekly research assignments explained, that explains how to identify that, those different types of research. A big piece of your success this summer is really just understanding what it is that you're reading and knowing what type of research you're reading. Most folks who are in this program will tend to, kind of gravitate towards one particular type of research, a certain type of research. If you're in pedagogy or adapted, and those adapted tracks, you're going to see a lot of the research done using qualitative designs. This doesn't mean that quantitative's bad or anything. It just means that the types of issues that researchers want to get to the bottom of in our fields of phys ed and adapted, those types of questions are generally answered best using a qualitative frame, because the purpose of the qualitative research is really to give depth and richness to the data that's being collected. Whereas if you look at a quantitative research article, you're only going to get the numbers. You're only going to get the hard, fast facts that are spit out by the statistical analysis. So that's the number one way to determine whether or not research is qualitative or quantitative, is the type of data analysis that's being used. So if you jump directly to the analysis section, if you see that there's columns and columns of numbers and letters with like these greater than and less than symbols, and then you suddenly break out into a cold sweat, hyperventilating, like, holy crap, I didn't know I was going to need to do math, that's quantitative. That is quantitative research. If you are reading an article and they're talking about these themes of the analysis, the themes that emerged, and it's all about words and explanations, and they tie the data back to what the participants said, and they're actually quoting the participant, that's qualitative. You're also going to see mixed methods that have both quantitative and qualitative. I'm a fan of that because, hardcore researchers poo-poo on qualitative methods. They think, oh, well, it's qualitative. There's no facts. There's no numbers. It's all just interpretations and feelings. But they don't look at that anecdotal, the lived experiences of the participants as data, when really the lived experience of a participant is data. So qualitative takes that into consideration. Mixed methods will take kind of the best of both worlds, and they'll say they're going to look at a large population, and they might have like 2,000 surveys or 150 surveys, but then they'll only interview 5 or 10 people to get some deeper perceptions. That's mixed methods. What I'm going to try to have you do this week is, out of the articles that you're pulling, identify whether or not they're qualitative or mixed. Use the PowerPoint, the weekly research explained, to help you understand, to help you identify the different types of research. So some things that you want to definitely look at. On slide number 4 talks about the qualitative research. So there's ethnography, constructivism, phenomenology, participant observation, or case studies. So those are the common forms of interpretive type of qualitative studies that you'll see. So if you see any of those words anywhere in the article, guess what? That's qualitative. Then if you were to go to, let me see, somewhere in here I've got quantitative stuff or something about quantitative. Let me back up. I just kind of jumped into some of these. Now, when you are looking at the quantitative research, the things that you want to focus on are, to identify that, look at the N. How big of a study is it? How many participants are in the study? If there's a small, very small number, 5, 10, 7, 22, or even 35, that's going to be more, that could be more of a qualitative framework. That could be a first hint on this might be qualitative. Then as you read the article more and you go into the methodology and they start showing how the data are collected, that's your second hint. So if the data are collected by using surveys or by using questionnaires, that's going to be more in line with a quantitative research design. If the data are collected using interviews and questionnaires or participant or observation and field notes, because the researcher is now embedded within the participants and part of that group, and now they're really living that experience with the group, that's qualitative. Okay? So I really don't want to belabor this point. I really want you guys to use the information that's given to see how well you can identify this on your own. So I want to be a little vague this time around just to see what I'm working with. But then after this week, you guys are going to be getting a lot of feedback on how you complete those 12 steps. Use that feedback going forward in your in writing your future 12-step analyses. This week for the annotated bibliography, I did post a couple of videos for you to help you with that. We're not going to be doing a lot of annotated bibliographies. This is really the only one we're going to be using. You should be pulling 2 articles each week and reading both of them. I'm only requiring you to do a 12-step analysis on one of those articles. It would be useful if you put the other article either in a separate article grid, so you have that information as well, that you can pull for your data. Or when next week, as we get into the Zotero, you'll have an opportunity to be able to save all of the articles that you will be using for this project in a file, and then you'll be so then you can store that for as you start working on your articles. So, anyways, I hope this started to clear up or cleared up some of the misconceptions on the different types of research that you guys are going to be looking at. And hopefully this will be useful for you. So if you have any questions, don't forget to put those in the Ask the Professor, also known as the hashtag Asking for a Friend forum, and subscribe to that, because as the questions are posted, I answer those within a day or so. If everybody has the same question, it's just, easier to work smarter, not harder, and post the questions and the answers in the same forum. So if you have a question, go to that forum, see if it's been asked and answered. If it hasn't, then ask it, and then I'll answer it, and then everybody has the benefit of that. So anyways, have a great rest of your day, and I will be seeing you next week.